Mimi Goodman, Donald Trump has just tapped Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions to be his attorney general and Kansas Congressman Mike Pompeo to head the CIA. Well, as Trump assembles his cabinet, we look at one of the communities that have been the most targeted through his immigration policy that he has talked about during the campaign, Syrian refugees. Over the course of the campaign, Donald Trump called them terrorists and incorrectly accused them of carrying out violent attacks in the United States. Trump has repeatedly said he would end all immigration to the U.S. by Syrian refugees and others from what he called terror-prone nations. This is Donald Trump speaking last month.
We're not going to take the risk when it comes to the safety of the American people, no longer. So let me state this as clearly as I can. If I'm elected president, I am going to keep radical Islamic terrorists the hell out of our country.
The 5-year Syrian conflict has displaced about half the pre-war population, with more than 6 million Syrians displaced inside Syria and nearly 5 million Syrian refugees outside its borders. Close to 500,000 Syrians have been killed in the ongoing war. Here in Morocco, according to some estimates, there are thousands of Syrian refugees, though exact figures are difficult to determine. On Thursday evening, Democracy Now! Spoke to several Syrian refugees here in Marrakesh.
I am from the Hama province in Syria. My name is Hassan Khardak.
And how did you come from Syria to Morocco?
I came from Syria, then I crossed into Lebanon, and I stayed for 1 year in Lebanon. And I've prepared my passport before the war, and when the war waged, it became very tough for me. And I have 6 daughters and 3 youths. I had to flee from there to Morocco. I came from Beirut and then came to Algeria, and then I crossed into Morocco through Oujda.
Why did you come to Morocco? Is this your final destination, or do you hope to go elsewhere afterwards?
I have never left Syria, and this is the first I had to leave this country. We came here to Morocco, and we thought we would stay 4 or 5 months and then make it back to Syria. But now I'm here for more than 2 years. We never thought we'd be staying in Morocco for so long.
How was your life in Syria? How did it change? What is the situation there right now?
My life in Syria was very good, and as a poor person, I had a very good life in Syria. I was working with people, but because of the war, I had to leave. Now I came with no money, and I'm out here sitting in the streets.
How has this conflict impacted your children, and what future do you hope for them?
Yes, the war has affected us all. It has impacted everything. No school, no money, no nothing. And as I say, I have 10 children. They don't go to school now. This is catastrophic.
After speaking to Hassan Khardak in the Medina, or Old City, we drove toward the outskirts of Marrakesh. We met a mother and a daughter who fled to Morocco from Syria in 2012, a year after the conflict began. They did not want to show their faces out of fear for their safety.
I am from Idlib, from Syria. My name is Zainab Al Hassan.
And you're standing here next to your daughter. What is your name?
Ghalia.
How old are you?
13.
And how did you get to Morocco?
We went first to Beirut in Lebanon, and then crossed to Egypt, and then from Egypt to Algeria.
What was life like in Syria when you left?
It was very difficult. People were killing each other. We were looking at a horrible situation in Syria. We saw a man who stood in front of us and said, "Enough, you have to get away, you have to get away."
Do you have other children in Syria?
I have 5 children, 3 boys and 2 girls in Syria.
How long have you been in Morocco since leaving Syria?
Now it's 4 years.
What has it been like for you to leave Syria as a young child?
It was very difficult for me. Yes, we found that we had very big problems. We had to cross the borders. We had a lot of hardship.
You're a child. What is your hope for the future? What do you want to do when you grow up?
I'm studying now. I go to school. I want to be a surgeon.
In the United States, there's a leader who says that no more Syrian refugees should come to our country. What is your message in response to people who are trying to close the borders off to people fleeing the situation in Syria today?
I want to ask him why they want to close the borders first. Syrians have suffered very much. Why should they close the borders in our faces? They should help us because we've gone through a lot of suffering and lost everything.
Syrians have suffered a lot, so enough suffering.
They cannot close the borders because there will be a lot of people coming. They cannot close the borders. There are children, there are parents, there are mothers, there are women. We have to go to Europe and other countries. We've been disdained and things are very difficult for us during the years we've spent outside Syria. Now we're undergoing a very difficult kind of life.
What are some of the difficulties you face as a refugee?
We don't have a home. We lost our home. We lost our belongings, everything.
We have lost a lot of people in Syria, children, and they're still dying there.
What would it mean if foreign leaders made it more difficult for Syrians to leave and get asylum abroad?
It would be better to die if they closed the borders.
That report by Democracy Now!'s Dina Guzder. Special thanks to Nermeen Sheikh and John Hamilton, and to the Arabic-English translator Sabir Tarawat. While interviewing Syrian refugees here in Marrakesh, the Democracy Now! Team was stopped numerous times by Moroccan police, both plainclothes and in full uniform. Police forces repeatedly demanding to see press credentials, questioning the reporters about their reporting. They also followed the team from the bustling center of Marrakesh to the suburban outskirts of Targa, Douar Sidi Daou. After we finished interviews, police then followed the team back to the Riad, the traditional Moroccan house in the old city of Medina. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. Stay with us.